When it comes to trying to keep deer out of your lawn and garden, a tall fence is always your best bet. But it's not always the most practical solution for many people. So what's the next best thing? Repellents. So in this video, we'll discuss the pros and cons of using repellents, and we'll talk about some of the most common options. What do you do if you don't have a physical barrier to keep the deer out, but you have a lot of pressure? Well, let me tell you, that's the dilemma I face every day here at the garden farm, and it's very frustrating. Now, you could hire somebody to do it. It gets kind of pricey, or you could do it yourself. That takes a lot of time, and time is something I don't have a lot of these days. So until then, I use a liquid deer repellent. And it's a good option because there are a lot of great products out there. They're designed to either taste so bad or smell so bad that the deer want nothing to do with it. They're easy to apply. You can use a backpack sprayer like this or a handheld sprayer. And they come in ready-to-use options, so you can just spray it on the plant, or if you want to save a little money, you buy a concentrate, like I do. But no matter how good the product, it's really important that you follow the directions as to when you apply it, how often you apply it, when you're using it during the season, the amount of deer that are out there, the palatability of the plants. I mean, there are so many variables to consider, but you just have to pay attention. So no matter what you're using, what's in those products? Well, some common ingredients include putrescent egg white solids and dried blood, and plant-based oils like clove and garlic and capsaicin. That's the hot peppers, and garlic and fatty acids and some other things. And I'm just noticing some deer browsing damage right here, which tells me I wasn't out here as often as I needed to be to prevent this from happening. So it has nothing to do with the product, it's more operator error. But anyway, when you apply this product, no matter what it is, it's important that you start early enough in the season, like right after the new growth is emerging in early spring, and then you keep up with it. Like many products recommend that you do that every 10 to 14 days during active growth, and then as you get into the dormant times, you can back off to maybe every 8 to 12 weeks, and that works too. But the one thing that you need to consider about these deer repellents, they're pretty expensive. So when you go to price these out, you're going to be blown away by the price. But then you have to take that into consideration on the price of your plants, because would you rather have to replace your whole landscape or spend a little money on deer repellent? So when you think about it that way, the deer repellent becomes a pretty good option. And one other option I want to mention, it was never even made to be a repellent. It's Milorganite, an organically derived source of nitrogen fertilizer manufactured by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District. Now, the company has never claimed that it's a deer repellent, and they've never advertised it as such. But over the 90+ years that the product has been in use as a fertilizer, a lot of people have reported that it's pretty good at repelling deer as well. Who knew?